between not knowing how to pray and losing the meaning of sacrifice, or falling out of touch with the meaning, you wouldn't have a need for empiricism or empirical data or sense data and all that stuff. It must be so ridiculous to consider that praying is the last resort of someone who can try anything that they need to do to save themselves and find that there's nothing left, they're doomed. You're gonna pray. You mean to tell me you can't even do that? And then when somebody has an abundance of something and they want to sacrifice, making a sacrifice, it's not. It has, like, for it to be a sacrifice, you have to give up something that you want. And that's the whole meaning, right? So, it's too simple to fall. Like, all you just need to touch base and know what is that, Like, hopefully there's no reason for you to have to sacrifice anything, but if you do, then who would want to be your God if for you to sacrifice means that you're gonna I don't know, you have, let's say, a carton of cigarettes, and you're gonna just like break a few cigarettes as an offering or something. You have a whole fucking shitload of those. It'll last you into the foreseeable future. So that loses touch. Then people want to they want to attack vaguely and anonymously as possible. Like, obviously it's more preferable if you're attacking someone that they have no idea that it's you. But what if they're smart? What if they're a genius and they know it's you, and they know smart enough to know to ignore you? Then that means there's something even more serious, dreadful, and treacherous than a psychopath. And it's somebody who you wouldn't fall under their protection no matter what if you keep lying to them. Like, as much as they pray for their enemies, everyone else has to look at, who do I sacrifice? The one that is pretending to be aloof, and or the one who prays for their enemies and tries to look after their community with truth. So statistically, if you want to measure the psychopathy, then in an area, it comes down to like major metropolitan areas where there's an influx of a population, a lot of people coming there that are naive to some kind of dreams and schemes. That there's nothing wrong if you have some dreams and some schemes, and these is a food source for the psychopathy to take advantage of them, because they haven't been immersified long enough in the culture to know, who gets packed up and shipped off, who you gotta like fucking be wary of, oh shit, like, I better not mess with you and everything. It's like a little ecosystem. But if you were to, let's say, run a clinic on that entire society and bring everybody up to speed on then there would be no food source. Then you couldn't measure the psychopathy. You would have to imagine that all of the psychos disappeared. You don't really know what happened to them, and you don't care, because it's not possible to, when you have to make a decision who to sacrifice, right? So somebody else's video started this. He was saying he was under attack, a spiritual attack. And it got me thinking, because what if you consider yourself to be the worst nemesis, and the worst, like let's say the baddest adversary, then I wonder if you're sabotaging yourself then, or something like that. And arbitrarily, it makes you ignore. So like you're doing the same thing as ignoring your enemy, even if you know that they're there, because you will concede for the purpose of argumentation, even if you have a different feeling. You can maintain both your intuition and your battle strategy. Because even though it's not a sacrifice for us to forego the psychopathy in our society and hand them over to whatever justice, and we don't worry about them or anything, we could still call it that, because we lost touch with sacrifice. So if I just want to sacrifice somebody who's a pain in the ass and causing a lot of disturbances, nothing that I want at all, I can offer as a sacrifice to that beast and satiate it. Something they never had the ability to stir up in a contract to conjure up demons or something to try and attack someone. They got to look at it like everything comes easy to you, and like it's like you're a bitch because you stand in the way and you get gifts before them that are precedent that they were supposed to get. If they didn't understand, they sell themselves the illusion. So why shouldn't I concede that I'm the worst? If somebody's attacking me, that I'm doing something to enable them, they're building their entire platform off of my stress energy. It's still, even if you can't put a finger on it, it's still permeating, and it's still, So the fact that you can wield that, you're not changing your reality mentally. You're not mentally changing everything in your reality to where you want. But you're causing the shift or the osmosis or something that you understand, where you understand, because what happens when a immovable object meets an unstoppable force? That's something that we know that is impossible. There's no way that an unstoppable force is going to collide with an unmovable object.